So, hi everyone, welcome to another edition of After the Bell. Um, this is more of a reaction episode after Loma versus Lopez. Um, we thought, we'd do a quick little roundup and our thoughts on it. So, welcome to another edition. Thanks for joining us. Um, yeah, guys, how do you think it went?
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected.
Mm,
But I think just the initial thoughts was it was a justified result. Teofimo Lopez was the much better fighter on the night. More proactive, controlled the tempo of the fight, did more damage. Yeah, from that regard, yeah, like I was surprised. But as it went on, obviously woke up, saw Samson's messages. I could see probably what he was reacting to in live time. That it was looking like more of an upset
yeah,
was on the way. But yeah, like I'm sure we're going to in much more detail. But my initial thoughts was okay. I didn't expect that, but after watching it, it was fully justified, fully deserved.
yeah. And just for context, what in the middle of the night, Samson was watching it live, innit? So he was texting into the WhatsApp group as he was watching it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I realized that I didn't want to spoil it for you guys, so I kind of just stopped abruptly. That's
yeah,
why. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So you stopped halfway through the fight
yeah. Basically,
at round
stop
five.
updating
Yeah,
you, man. Yeah,
yeah. I
but
hear you still.
yeah, nah. It was. I listen. That's probably the best fight I've watched this year since Tyson Fury, Wilder. But yeah, like Loman, I was expecting Lomachenko to take this guy to deep waters and drown him, but my guy came strong,
Yeah,
you know. Um, and I had him winning first 5 rounds, and thereafter that I had Loma winning maybe 3 to 4 rounds. So I think the scorecards were justifiable apart from that 119, 109. That's disrespectful,
Yeah,
man.
that
They
one
done
was
it. They
off.
they
That one was
they, they
off.
done him dirty. They done him
yeah,
dirty. But just on like Lopez's game plan, perfect, man. He couldn't just Lomachenko couldn't get into the fight. He couldn't. And people were saying that he started slow. That's because Lopez made him start slow.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? He couldn't. He respected his power too much. You know, he was too strong, too quick. And I feel like with Loma, like he keeps you occupied, even if he's not punching, he keeps you occupied with his movement and his different levels, and he's coming into the pocket, even coming back out again. He keeps your mind working. But this time around, he just couldn't get in. He couldn't get into the fight. And eventually, when he did get into the fight, it was too late. It was too late,
yeah,
you know. And Lopez, when the onslaught did come from Lomachenko, which was inevitable, Lopez could answer back every single time. So I'm very impressed with his game plan, and he couldn't even do any of his angle stuff, could he?
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Loma
yeah.
he couldn't do
Yeah,
any of
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
So
For me, it's the same, man. I thought Loma couldn't. I thought he would start off slow. Um, I definitely thought he was going to start off slow for the first couple of rounds, but I just thought he'd pick up a lot quicker. And by the
mm,
time he did pick up, you're right, it was too late. And it wasn't too late in the sense that he couldn't win the fight at that point. It was too late because Lopez was already in the rhythm. Like he had figured out how to, like you're saying, keep him occupied. He had figured out how to just keep the distance and fight. And even when he did
yeah,
pick it up, Lopez answered the call. He didn't back off.
answered it
He wasn't
literally.
intimidated at all. He didn't he
Uh-huh.
didn't let anything get to him. He just stuck to the game
Mhm.
plan and fought.
Mhm.
And even at
Mhm.
the end when they were trading blows, like he was right in there trading
Yeah.
blows, getting
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
really, really good
Yeah.
punches
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The other thing I'd say is that I rated the way um, Lopez attacked. Like he was multi-dimensional. Like he was also attacking the body a lot.
Mm.
And we didn't really get that from Loma, and we
Mm.
didn't really get the angles from Loma either. So Lopez was
Mm.
was was top, up down. He was fighting. Um, variably for the whole fight, and he was sick, man. He done a really, really good job. Young guy, 23.
Very good job.
He smashed it, man. He deserves that win. He deserves that win.
And even the rounds you'd look at, like you said, because I had it, I think similar to probably what you said, Samson. I had it overall 7-5 on rounds. But even the rounds Loma took, they weren't overly impressive, if you know what I mean. There was maybe 1-2 rounds in there where he did some good work. One round in particular sticks out, but I can't remember where it was. It was maybe like 8 or 9. But apart from that, he didn't decisively win any rounds. Whereas, like you said, Lopez maybe won the first 5-6 rounds, and then definitely took the 12th round, and then probably took a couple more in there, and they were much more decisive. Like in that 12th round, if that doesn't get stopped for the cut, Lomachenko might be on the floor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for real. And it was, to be honest with you, I don't think we even saw the best of Lopez. I think there's plenty more in the tank.
Yeah, he was being measured. He was being really measured.
Yeah, I don't feel Lomachenko brought the best out of him, but that's what they say, stars make fights, doesn't it?
Precisely, man. He did what he needed to do to win, innit?
Yeah.
He did what he needed to do to win.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing, really.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's impressive. I'm not sure about that stop because of the cut, man. There was like 10 seconds left in the fight. I don't think he should have stopped.
It was very questionable, man. With 10 seconds left, yeah.
Sometimes I think to myself also, like the pundits, like I think it was Tim Bradley or Andre Ward. He had it a draw. I don't understand how people can say it's a draw.
Andre Ward had
it as a draw.
Yeah, that's
It wasn't a draw.
Unless it's politics, I don't understand how anybody can say that was a draw.
Do you know what I think it was? I think it might have been they had a narrative in their head, and they thought that it was going that way because I don't know if you remember, maybe from like the second, third round, they started coming with this, Loma's downloading all the information he needs.
Yeah.
They kept saying that. It's like, okay. And like, okay, is this a narrative that you want to happen?
Yeah.
That for 3-4 rounds, he's not going to be impressive, and then he's going to step on the gas, which kind of played out. But I think Lennox Lewis actually tweeted it. He was like, after 3 rounds, you figured out your opponent has showed you what they're going to show you. And that's that. Now you need to work with what you got.
Yeah.
You can't be downloading information for 7-8 rounds.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if you're 4 zip down, then it's a struggle after that.
After 6 rounds, there's an argument to say he was 6 rounds down after the 6th round.
Possibly.
That means if he wins every other round 10-9, it's a draw.
And that's what made me question: do some of these judges score these cards retrospectively?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if Loma had a dominant clean out in the 7th round, maybe that would be a 10-8. Do you know what I mean? And then that would have
I get what you mean.
Balanced out the score round. I was going to also say that Lomachenko was so stubborn with his philosophy on fighting that he didn't actually sell out early enough and just make this a boxing fight, because that's the only way he would have won this if he actually went blow for blow with this guy. But he stood there, tried to box, and it weren't going to happen with Lopez because Lopez was the better boxer. And I feel like even if there was a rematch, he probably would win again. I'm not convinced that Loma would win.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I agree with you.
I don't know if I agree with that one, because he had what 14 months off before this fight.
Yeah.
Right. I think if they were to fight again and he was in better practice, I think he would have given him a better fight.
But did you see anything sort of in that fight that led to you think that he was rusty? Because it seemed like that was Lomachenko's game plan. Give it a few rounds. And I think one thing that they did pick up on, and I noticed it as well, that Lopez's speed surprised me quite a lot. Like I knew he was fast, but I didn't realize he was as fast as he was. Because he was moving Lomachenko. But that's what you was just saying.
As well.
Yeah. Like I don't know if Lomachenko had fought like 8 months ago, whether it would have made much difference.
14. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Because I didn't really see. I don't think he lost the fight because he was rusty. If you know what I mean, he hadn't been in the ring for a while. I think he lost the fight because he probably wasn't aggressive enough.
Yeah. So do
I,
you
I,
think there's
I,
an
ju-
argument to be made
I,
about if he picked it up in the fourth round like he did in the seventh or eighth round, that would
he,
have
You
he
been a
know
would have
what?
different
still
result?
lost.
Yeah.
He would have
You know
still
what?
lost.
You know what I think? Because I think
Still
he
lost.
loses. I think he loses a straight-on fight with Lopez as well. Because Lopez is bigger,
Yeah.
stronger, faster.
And the mentality is Lopez is a fighter. He's a fighter. He can bang.
Yeah.
Lomachenko is not. I don't think he's a fighter. He's a
Oh,
technician.
look at them, innit? Like, look at the physical difference. Like,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wait, it was a fun fight though.
it
That
was a
was a
good
really
fight,
good fight.
man. It was a good
Really
fight.
good fight. I mean, it's the most significant fight we've had since Tyson Fury in terms of the landscape of boxing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Because obviously you got pillars, you got different pillars in it. Weight classes: lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, and heavyweight. My guy's now undisputed in lightweight.
Apparently, he's not though. You know,
Oh, is there a new
because you know
interim?
WBC have franchise champion and they have normal champion. I don't know if this was someone trolling or not, or like they were lying, but they said that the WBC have decided that Lomachenko is still the franchise champion.
I'm done. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm done.
So the guy can lose a fight and he doesn't lose his title. What's the point? What's the point in the belt?
Oh, on a slightly different topic as well. Do you know they're trying to do different heavyweight divisions now
Oh,
as well?
between cruiserweight, yeah.
Yeah. So Wilder technically might be undefeated still.
Oh, yeah.
It's mental. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I can't deal, man. I can't deal.
Oh
It's
man.
crazy. It's crazy. What do you man quickly think is next for both of them though?
I think for Lopez, got to 140. Got to 140. Yeah, the likes of David Haney, Ryan Garcia, and all of them, man. I think that's next for them. That's the next crop. That's the next generation. It's exciting, man. That's exciting. And then for Loma, it's hard to tell. I mean, he's 32. He came so close to becoming undisputed, but you know, I think he probably goes back to 130 again.
I think Loma definitely goes down.
Yeah.
I think he definitely goes
Yeah.
down because
Yeah.
I don't know, like that's a phrase, isn't it? A good big fighter always beats a good small fighter if they're in the
Yeah.
same weight class. And
Yeah.
I think that's the issue Lomachenko is going to have with most of these guys. They're just naturally bigger than him.
Yeah.
And I think Lopez, like you said, I reckon he maybe has one more fight at this weight and then goes up. But if he goes up, there's some big fighters waiting for him though. Still,
Who would he fight? Who would he fight at this?
if he goes up,
No, if he stays here.
If
You
he
said one more
stays,
fight at 135.
if he stays, he could maybe fight people that you mentioned, similar to like the Haney's, Garcias, Davis.
Oh right, yeah. Okay.
But if he goes up, then he's dealing with like Josh Taylor, Ramirez, Regis Prograis, those guys.
Oh, I think to be honest, that's his level right now. I think based on what he done tonight, he can fight the Josh Taylors, and the Prograis of the world.
That's some big fights for him. No, that's some big. That's
that Prograis fight. Hey, that will be lit. Even a Josh Taylor fight, because personally, I think Josh Taylor's good, but I want him to lose because what he done to Prograis and what he done to O'Hara Davis. I don't like what he done to them, man.
Do you see O'Hara Davis is beefing at Belly?
Who? Bellew?
Tony Belly.
Yeah.
Them man been tweeting each other for hours.
Because we go on YouTube now, I'm gonna hold my tongue. I'm not gonna say anything. on Belly. I'll just say Tony Belly is funny. He's a funny guy. He's just a funny guy. Very, very funny guy. But yeah. But yeah, that's what I think for Lopez and Loma. Yeah, it's I think the lightweight divisions are now you're starting to see things starting to happen now with your Tanks, Haney's, Garcias, Lopez's. Would you actually say Lomachenko had an error, or did he have a moment? I don't think he had an error.
No, he probably had a moment because he hasn't had enough fights to really have an era. I don't think.
Yeah.
A professional fight. He doesn't have enough professional fights to have an era.
Yeah.
I don't think. And also where he's the thing is, despite the fact a lot of people had him pound for pound, one of the top pound for pound fighters, he hasn't really cut through to the mainstream, if you know what I mean.
He hasn't.
Like his name doesn't ring off from people that don't really follow boxing beyond the casual following.
True.
So I think that probably stops him having an era sort of thing, because I think most people that have an era, they cut through a bit more.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
Do you think there's anyone at the weight that can take Lopez?
That can take Lopez.
Yeah, like who do you think is his toughest matchup?
135.
Yeah, at his current weight, yeah.
Run me through the names at 135 again. Sometimes I forget.
It would be Ryan Garcia, Haney, Tank.
Oh, I don't know yet. I the jury's still out on every single one of them, to be honest with you. The jury's still out on every single one of them. I feel like I kind of need to see them pitted against one another first. You know how we can kind of tell with like the current crop of welterweights, Sean Porter, Garcia, who will win, Thurman. I still feel like they're still, trying to make a name for themselves now.
It's good though because they're fighting each other. That's the positive thing about this.
Yeah. And they're not avoiding smoke.
No, they're not. They're not
avoiding any smoke.
They're not. Yeah, because what's it called? Garcia's fighting Luke Campbell soon, isn't he?
Yeah, that's good. That's a really good fight.
And then I think the winner of that goes up against Haney, innit? So that's
okay.
Cool. And Davis is fighting. Gervonta Davis fighting end of this month.
Santa Cruz.
Yeah, I think that's end of this month, isn't it? Or end of November.
Yeah. End of November, I believe.
Yeah, it's soon.
I think the all access started.
Yeah, I watched it the other day.
Yeah, the all access started. So yeah, man. But good fight, man. Brilliant fight.
Yeah, definitely a good
worth waiting up till 4:30 to watch. I had to watch that, man. I had to watch that. It was exciting, man.
Yeah, man. Well, guys, this has been a quick recap. The first one of its kind, actually. We haven't done one like this before. So expect more of these moving forwards. And make sure you follow us on the socials, on Instagram, where After the Bell Boxing, and on Twitter, we're at Bell Boxing. On Twitter, if you follow us, you're going to get a follow back right now. Make sure you get in quick before we get big. So, yeah, man. Thank you guys for joining us. And we'll be back with a regular episode very soon. Peace.